Hello and welcome to the Sports Spoken Daily Sports Minute. I am Matt Weller. Thank you for joining me on a Monday night in October. Today is Monday, October 28th. Thank you for joining me. We're going to talk about some Monday night football, a little baseball, get into a quiet night in the NHL, and then maybe talk a little bit about the college football playoff that we'll have the first standings released tomorrow. We'll start in the NFL as the big game of the night, the Monday Night Football. The Redskins taking on the Dallas Cowboys at Jerry World in Dallas. And the Redskins knock off the Cowboys. Obviously, the Cowboys were a heavy favorite in this game, coming in as one of the hottest teams in football. They lost their quarterback in the third round, or the third quarter, I should say. Tony Romo kneed in the back while taking a sack. He would return later in the fourth, but didn't look quite the same. Did look a little uncomfortable and just jolted. Not quite the same guy we had seen the past couple weeks. DeMarco Murray still got his numbers over 200 yards. Total offense, another game of over 100 yards carrying the football. Still on pace to break Eric Dickerson's single-season rushing record. So a positive night for DeMarco Murray, not so much for the Cowboys. Kai Forbath hits a 40-yard field goal in overtime. On the first series, Dallas could not convert on 4th and 2. Washington walks away with the win. Dallas drops to 6-2, even with the Philadelphia Eagles and their division. Colt McCoy was impressive, hit 16 of his last 17 throws as the starter for Washington, replacing Kirk Cousins, who had been miserable this season. Looks like Robert Griffin III is getting closer to coming back, but Colt McCoy has shown he can at least handle spot duty until Griffin comes back from injury. Moving on to Major League Baseball, the World Series will resume tomorrow. We're going to get Jake Peavy, who's 0-1 in the playoffs with a 7.2 ERA against Yordano Ventura, who is decisionless. I guess he's no wins, no losses with a 3.38 ERA. But the Royals have won the last 3 of his starts, so he's been very impressive in not limited time, but a few starts for the Royals. Just hasn't gotten that big first win. Tomorrow might be a nice night to do it for him, as the Royals do need to win Game 6 to prolong the series to 7 games. The Giants can win the World Series tomorrow night at Kauffman Stadium in Kansas City. One more note that we did miss in the NFL is that Rex Ryan, head coach of the New York Jets, named Michael Vick his starting quarterback today. It was an unprompted decision. He just announced today that Vick would start over Geno Smith for the Jets this Sunday. I'd say that's a good decision. Smith's been terrible both of the past 2 years. Had three interceptions in the first quarter. He actually completed more passes to Bills defenders than Jets receivers in the first quarter of the game this past week. Not that Mike Vick was any better. He had 3 turnovers, 2 of which were fumbles the rest of the way, but still better than what Geno Smith mustered up. There was one source that was saying that Rex could not turn back to Geno Smith or he'd lose his locker room as they're fed up with the turnovers. It looks like Geno Smith is not going to be the Jets starting quarterback anymore. Quiet night in the NHL, only 2 games going on. 5-4 win for the Rangers over Minnesota at home. Anthony Duclair picks up his first goal and point in the NHL. Matt Zuccarello had a goal and 2 assists, including the game winner. So good for him getting back on track. He's been struggling lately. Edmonton with a 3-0 win over Eastern Conference leading Montreal Canadiens. 29 save shutout for Ben Scrivens. He's been impressive this year in the absence of Victor Faust for the Oilers. And Edmonton's quietly 4-4-1, 9 points. Right there in the middle of the league. Maybe, this is the year that they start putting it together. But that said, we've heard that every year since 2011. So proceed with caution, Oiler fans. Moving on to college football, the first college football playoff comes out tomorrow. We'll be releasing their rankings and who would be in if the playoffs started today. My personal predictions, I think we're going to see Mississippi State, at number 1, followed by Florida State at number 2. Those are the only 2 undefeated teams really of significance left. Marshall is still undefeated, but I don't think we'll be seeing them in the top 10. Number 3, I think we're going to see Alabama. Their only loss coming to Ole Miss. They're a good team, but or they're a very good team and probably the best one-loss team still left on the board. And number 4, I'm going to go with Notre Dame. Notre Dame's only loss is to number 2, Florida State, on a controversial play at the end of the game. I think they're the best. I think they're the second best one-loss team. They certainly have the best loss to undefeated Florida State. They're still going to have chances to prove themselves too. They play USC later in the year, and Stanford and Arizona State, who quietly only has one loss this season. So I'll take Notre Dame as the 4 seed right now. Just missing out, I think number 5 is going to be TCU. They're an exceptional football team. Their only loss came to Baylor. They put up 82 points last week. That's a heck of a football team. So I think TCU at 5, and I think they could be followed by either Georgia, Oregon, or Auburn at number 6. The great thing about this playoff now is it's great to say, this year it's easy to get the 2. But once you start getting to Alabama, Auburn, Oregon, Michigan State, TCU, Baylor, Arizona State, all these teams have one loss. And they're going for these 2 spots. I mean, we're not guaranteed that Mississippi State and Florida State are going to win out. But if they do, we've got 2 spots for, as of right now, it is a lot of one-loss teams. Not saying that they will, most of them will probably, the word I'm looking for, they'll probably lose from come now to bowl selection time. But still, as of right now, we've got so many choices for 2 spots. I personally think it's going to be Alabama and Notre Dame tomorrow. Could be completely different come December. That'll do it for today's Sports Spoken Daily Sports Minute. Thank you for joining me. I'm Matt Weller. Remember to interact with us. You can subscribe, like our video, leave a comment in the comment section, and subscribe to our channel on YouTube. Remember to follow us on Twitter @SportsSpoken and check out www.sportspoken.com. Thank you.